The Jackbox Party Pack is a selection of 5 games perfect for any sort of party, whether it be a Christmas or birthday party, fun at the weekend with friends, or as a student gathering, or if you're a YouTuber and Twitcher, even potentially games that you could play with your audience. You Don't Know Jack is the primary game of the pack, in which questions are asked in a rather obscure manner.
Which of these people is B.I. curious?
I mean, whether you know Jack about the game, or whether you don't know Jack about the game, it all could come down to whether you get the obscure question of the show, which is the incorrect answer, which gives you a random amount of points that could swing the game wildly. You also have the choice to screw your opponents at any time and make them answer the question immediately with little or no time. Then there's the theme-based questions like Peanut, Kangaroo, Ice on or Uranus, and that is one of the more obscure ones, but the answers are always the same. But the question might not be as obvious as you would imagine. Every game consists of 10 rounds, and then a final You Don't Know Jack rounds, where potentially your best option is to sit back, because if you don't know the answer, you could lose all your points, 2,000 points at a time, and completely screw any progress you had at the time. The main aim of the game is to win, obviously, but also get out with a positive score, because it's not as easy as you might imagine. Now, every round seems to consist of about 15 to 20 minutes, and with 50 episodes, there's about 15 hours of gameplay in this pack alone, so you should never have the same problem, unless you're playing with other people who have the same party pack and have gone through the episode already, but there's the episode choice. You can change the episode at any time. The next game on the pack is Drawful. It's one of the more popular games, and you have sometimes a rather obscure and even incorrectly spelt thing to draw, and people then decide from what you've drawn what it could possibly be, and if people choose their answer rather than the correct answer, they get points. If people choose your answer, though, for drawing exceptionally well, you get the points. Sometimes the more obscure questions, you know, people might think it's the obvious one, and something really completely random out there that is the actual drawing, they might think is something that someone has drawn, so, or written as the incorrect answer. You could get infinite playability out of this. I don't know how many questions there are, or random scenarios there are for the things to draw, but I imagine it'd be along the same sort of thing as You Don't Know Jack, so potentially the same amount of hours of gameplay for 3 to 8 players. And if you do it on a lossless streaming service like Google, you can play this with people all over the world. Now the next game is Word Spud, 2 to 8 players, and you get given an initial word, and then you make the connection. So whatever you think would be entertaining, and the last words of whatever you type is what everyone else, or the next player, has to begin with. Now, you can make up your own rules for this game, because the players that are playing vote whether you get points or not. You could be mean and just give nobody any points, or be really polite and give everyone points. If you do that, though, then you could also do variations, like everyone has to fit it around a certain theme, so say the theme was games, you have to link the word to games. Of course, you could end up with something like dware, where it doesn't make sense as a word, and then you're completely and utterly screwed and probably won't get any points at all. The next game on the pack is Lice Rotter, up to 100 players, or you can play it solo on your own. This is the most ideal for Twitch streamers, because the question comes up on the actual handset of whoever is playing, so you can have, without latency issues, up to 100 players all joining in, and they will probably get more answers than you, because they are quite difficult, and if they've been watching other people's streams, they might know far more than you in the area when you're coming into the questions absolutely blind and making quite a guess. So good luck in ever beating your viewers in a game of 1 versus 100 Ice Water. But obviously it's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to keep people entertained and as a audience interaction. Now, if you want, you could also have them put the answers in the chat if they don't get into the particular game, and that would then fill your chat with true and lie, but also lets them have a guess. I don't know if you can poll that, but it might be possible.
Connecting through the game.
Who with Excel is, of course, more of a blanksy blank sort of game where you fill in the blank in a question. Now, the answers are entirely based on how the mindset of the game players are, because while they might be worded in such a way that they could have rude connotations, that entirely comes down to the mindset of the person playing. Now, you're probably going to get fairly rude answers the majority of the time, but that's, again, purely down to whoever's playing, because you can play it completely innocently and have completely innocent answers the entire round. Chances of that happening, though, are completely unlikely. This game is available for up to 8 players, so while You Don't Know Jack is only up to 4 and multimedia intensive, this is a fairly more easygoing and also entirely not reliant on time-specific answers, so you can definitely play this with anyone throughout the world on a fairly lag-resistant stream. Now, that's all of the games in the pack, but there is also the possibility that they could do expansions. For example, DLC, where they make all of the different games have specific themes, like games, history, science fiction, movies. For example, playing a movie's You Don't Know Jack, or a movie's Drawfall, or a movie's Fibbage, or even a Ice Water. You can imagine that these would be fairly popular, and people would enjoy doing that sort of thing. And it would be a good way to expand on the pack. Another possible way that they could expand is purely by extra episodes for the things, or even extra packs. So, for example, if you buy a new game that comes out from Jackbox, you could import it into your party pack, rather than having to have it as a separate game that you reboot every single time you boot the game. That would, of course, make it more convenient for party times, and just have it all under one roof. Other potential games that I've considered might be possible are, for example, Family Fortunes, Family Feuds, depending on where you live in the world. Now, this could be adapted in a way that not only is available for the main players, so I don't know whether they'd have 4 to 5 people per team, but also you could have the audience interaction thing. So maybe the question is put out to your streaming audience and they all have to input the answers. So up to 100 viewers of your Twitch audience put an answer for the blank, and you have to guess the correct answers from that. Needless to say, that can make it a lot more difficult, because if you have an audience that are going to put dongers or something like that as the answer every single time, maybe it'll make it easy, maybe it'll make it impossible. Who knows? It'd be fun and entertaining. So that's one potential game. Others are, for example, like a Pass the Bomb game, because I like games with that. Right, you answer quickly, no penalty, and it's whoever's left with the bomb when the timer goes off. That could be a potential round. Maybe they could do a combination game that has a bit of every game inside it. So there's a Drawful round, a You Don't Know Jack round, a Fibbage round, a Ice Water round, you know, and a multimedia Jackbox party pack all-encompassing game. So there are quite a few possibilities, but as it stands, you're going to get hours and hours of gameplay out of it as it is. I mean, I doubt you'd complete every episode of every single game in the pack in this year, let alone in your lifetime, unless you're pretty much a hardcore game player and want to put 15 hours into every single game. I can't guarantee that, but at least in You Don't Know Jack, just to be able to get through the things. Now, I did initially think that the randomization might be a problem, because it does start off with the first episode, but because there is the episodic choice, that problem is sorted, so you can get around that any time without ever having to deal with people knowing the quiz already because they've played it on their particular version. So yeah, the Jackbox Party Pack is available now on Steam, and without a discount, at least in the UK, it is available for, if I can just load it up, $18.99. And I would definitely recommend a purchase, because even if you just play it for Christmas or parties, you're going to get a lot of fun out of the game. And if you're a YouTuber or a Twitcher, it's definitely a fantastic way for audience interaction. So, go check it out for yourself. Links in the description. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.